Good afternoon, as opposed to good morning. Good afternoon, and welcome to the later hours of TheoTRADE. You know who I am. I'm Professor Jeff Bierman. I'm broadcasting you live from Chicago, and today is Thursday. It is August 29th. It's 2024. It's the second to last day before the end of the month, so you should have smelled and sniffed out that the window dressers and the pumpers were going to move this today, regardless of the news from NVIDIA. Now, I'm going to give you my take on it. It's going to divert away from Don, Brandon, Corey. We all have disparate opinions here. It's what makes a market work. But before I actually lay out the game plan today, give you some color on the market today, let me lay out the game plan, okay? This is going to be a first in TheoTRADE lore history. This is going to probably turn into a 4, not 3, but 4-day program. And I am here not just to educate you, but I'm here to entertain you. I'm here to bring you up to speed because we've been hearing about it for a year. It's all they talk about in the news media. It's the only buzzword that matters at a cocktail party. And I'm going to be the first. I won't be the last, but I will be the first on Theo and maybe the first in the country to walk you through not 1, not 2, 3, a 4-day program because there's a lot to unpack here on AI. That's right. You heard me clearly. Today's program, okay, God bless Star Wars. I'm going to actually borrow a title from Star Wars. Everybody remember Star Wars? You know, we got episodes 4, 5, and 6 to kick it off in 1977 with Harrison Ford and Luke Skywalker and Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, right? A New Hope. Okay, this is actually, okay, what we call number 2. And number 2 is actually called of Star Wars, Attack of the Clones. So, without further ado, the title of today's program is called Attack of the Clones, Profiling the Rise of Artificial Intelligence. You've heard it, you think you know it, you don't. Give me 4 days and I will educate you and blow your cranium out about artificial intelligence top to bottom. We'll talk about how you define it, categories, trends, graphics, companies, forecasts, pros, cons, okay, stocks. I got it all. I pieced it together, but man, it takes a long time to talk about the rise of artificial intelligence, AI, A period, I period. NVIDIA's AI and so is Oracle. Nobody knows what it is. Now you do, because I'm going to bridge the gap. I'm going to fill in all of that narrative, all the kind of pockets about what AI is. Why are people so hot on it? I'm also going to talk about the downside of AI. There is a downside. So we'll get into all the benefits and the pros and the cons here. And I thought, we got to get away from the number crunching. The market's not going down today. It's rigged. You've got the advanced decline up 5 to 1. Did any of you come in short? Sorry. I covered as much as I could. I'm still short a couple of stocks, but I just went long. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and think. I kept telling all of you, get rid of NVIDIA. It's a waste of your time. The market doesn't care about NVIDIA. It doesn't. The market breadth is spread around, people. It's in financials. It's in tech. It's in REITs. Everything on my screen is lifting today. I'm sorry. I'm not biting on the sandwich that NVIDIA doesn't matter anymore. Everything matters because you have Apple ripping higher. Who cares about NVIDIA? You've got Best Buy with blowout earnings, technology that lifted up Apple. Okay, people, you can't get lost and thinking that one stock is going to move the market. I do not agree with Don. I just don't. NVIDIA, hammered. Who cares? Everything around it's lifting. Okay? So let me get you on board with this. Now, I don't know where the market's going to go. I leave that to Don, Corey. I have no idea. Okay? But I'm going to tell you one thing. In my model says, not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee, but it is a primary criteria to think about. Everything has got a cycle, and not cycling as in bicycling, but the indicators. You've got everything cycled except for the RSI. I wouldn't be surprised to see the market tomorrow morning at 5,800. Why not? Does it seem like anybody wants to sell? Every dip has been bought since August 5th. Every dip and rip is bought. So put away your idea that we're going down, because we're not. You got to change those slopes, and those slopes are not changing, okay? This is what destroys people in the business that I'm onto for 36 years. See that? That could turn into a pivot and rip higher. And that RSI could pivot. My model says that the RSI is not overbought enough to top the market out here. So you can give me all the data. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want data. Keep your stupid data. Let it go to 5,800, 59. We have to complete a cycle that looks like this. We have not completed the cycle. It looks like we're making another leg up. Will we or won't we? I have no idea. All I know is until the lip curl of the MACD rolls over and the RSI breaks 50, we're not going down. That's what my model said. Not what I say. It's what the model says. And the model is always right. And I'm always wrong no matter what I think. What I thought was, yeah, we're overdue. We rallied up 500. No, that's not the way many managers think. They woke up this morning going, who the hell cares about NVIDIA? They don't care. They're looking at this going, you know what? Time to buy everything but NVIDIA. That's what they're thinking. They're thinking NVIDIA is, it's a cliche, it's haggard, it's torn, it's worn. I don't even look at NVIDIA. I didn't even follow it that much anymore. I'm looking around, I'm going, wow, look at ASML running. Look at Microsoft. Look at that. They all ran. They didn't care. Okay, that was just a one-off piece of number. This is not done. Look at the MACD histogram. It's getting tired. It is. It's tired. But do you see it down? Sorry, got new glasses. Do I see it down? No, I don't see it down. I see it making a leg up here. And that frightens me. If I were short, I'd be sweating this. I ain't short this. I'd be sweating. You could easily see a gamma squeeze higher. For what reason? We don't need a reason. The market doesn't work on fundamentals right now. It works only on greed and algorithms. And the algos, they fooled people. They broke the curated channel, but they didn't break the underbelly of the high sideways channel. Notice how the momentum channel was broken on the ascending channel. Look, but it didn't break what? It didn't break the Bierman lower belly. So you got first line of defense broken, second line of defense not broken. Everybody got fooled. They shorted and got ripped. It happens, people. The market is not ready to go down. You know what? Why? I don't know. I don't care. I've given up looking for reasons. Don't matter. They simply don't matter. And when we crash and burn and blow up, stocks down 800 points on SMCI, nobody cares. They're about accounting fraud that broke. The algos destroyed it. You bought it. You're dead. Stop looking for news. News is irrelevant. What's relevant is price action. The price action is being run by the algos. The algos are not paying any mind to fundamentals. They don't care about data, the Fed. They don't care about anything. All they care about is rotations, order flow, and angles and slopes. And they still got enough of a slope there where they could rip this higher. They can legitimize it. They can delegitimize it. They can lie. They can tell the truth. Nobody knows. It's all about greed. And when the greed goes away, they rip it and kill it. That's what they did to SMCI. Oh my God, it broke, and they just destroyed it. It's all about momentum. And the momentum is not broken yet. It's hanging by a thread. It could pivot higher, but I'm not shorting this product. And if you want to see what it looks like to another dimension of mine, let's go through the Bierman PSAR. Look, Bierman PSAR. Okay. All you have to do is follow the rules. Like I teach my mentorship classes, and I always emphasize to students, I go like, I know it's hard, and I hug them, and it's tough love I give them. You cannot break rules. Ask Corey, ask Tony Rago. They do this for a living. I respect what they do. Don't break rules. What's the rule? The dots are positive. That's bullish. Look, that's bullish. I'm not going to short that. That's bullish. But wait, that's trend. How about momentum? Momentum's parabolic. If shorting parabolic momentum, it's like taking a match, smoking and throwing it on a bonfire. You're just asking for the algos to rip you apart. That's parabolic. It's not it's parabolic. That's momentum. That's what momentum means. It means buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the rip. I'm not going to short that. It's got a lip curl. It's got to roll over and break. Last but not least, the Williams percent R. It lifted. The bearish divergence, it was neutralized today by the algos. And then you've got a 21-5 advanced decline. Yeah, I'm going to short this. Not. People, this is almost 100% reversal from last night. It's down 50, up 43. Whoa! 100 point reversal. Damn. Tells you the machines are powerful. And the powers that be control these machines They don't want this market down. They're one-sided, they're agendized, they're bullish only. And you're fighting them over and over again. It's tough. Now, if you're going to trade this, scalp it intraday. Go to Corey. Get into Corey Rosenblum. Get into Tony. Watch their systems. Get into Blake. Watch what he does. He manages risk. He's careful. Okay. Probabilities, Don. Don't just look at this and go, it's up 100. It could be up 1,000. There are no rules anymore. Algos don't have rules. You need to establish rules to deal in the jungle of this nonsense. And that is, for me, I respect my indicators. If they say don't short, I'm not going to short. I don't short parabolic up, ever. Flat to down, now you got me. Breaking a trend, breaking momentum, I'm interested. But I'm not going to fight an algo all the way up. It just doesn't work. It never works for me. So let me show you like one long and one short. And a lot of people got faked out yesterday. I'm scared. Hold me, Don. I'm frightened. I just added more to it. Now, people, you have to understand about United Airlines. It trades at 3 times earnings. 3. Let me put that in perspective. If that stock went to 120, it would still be cheap. That's how ridiculous your money managers are. They have no idea they don't do any research anymore. They just look at the chart and go, it's an airline, capacity, sell it. People, when this breaks and goes to 100, I'm going to warn, people, I just bought, it broke the channel. It broke there. That's where I bought it. I broke the channel. I just bought it on the break and I let the algos do all the dirty work. If this sucker can get into 60, 70, 99 short sellers, you're dead. That'll rip. They could verticalize this $10 in an hour and it won't be cheap. It won't. That's why I'm in it. I'm looking for algo breaks. I waited until they flushed the toilet, vomited your money, your monkeys, sold it, and I bought it. Because they don't know how to price it, and I do. Now, what am I short? I'll give you one of the stocks. I'm short a few. But this is the one I pride myself on. I'm short Shake Shack. Why is that idiot short Shake Shack? Yeah, me the idiot. Market's up 50, it's down $1.77. Okay, why am I short this? Few rules. We don't short on the way up. Stop, all of you, stop it. You're going to kill yourself. It broke the channel. That's how I knew how to short it. The channel was broken. See? Next, pick your spots. It's got a bearish divergence, meaning I'm shorting on the way down. I'm shorting into weakness. Weakness. See it? Now, MACD is rolling over, gaining traction to that Bierman waterfall. Broken. K and the D period have now taken out the 50. The D period's lagging, playing catch down. Are you actually asking me? Ask me why this is down today. I defy you. Bearish. Okay, and now it's breaking free. That's why I'm short. I didn't short on the way up. I let it run, and then I let it break. The market hasn't broken yet. This actually hasn't even broken that much yet. It actually needs to break underneath 101. Then the fun begins. Then it's like it's going to crap itself and drop $5 in 5 seconds. Because the algos don't defend things like this. They'll defend that. They're not going to defend that. So just understand, there are many places to place your bets in this market every day. Just stop shorting on the way up and stop buying on the way down. It'll fix you. Now, with that said, let me move upward and onward, and let me get into, and hang on a second while I'm looking to kind of like, I'm going to actually think about, I'm going to cancel something. And now I'm going to actually move on to the market. But this graphic doesn't do me justice today. We don't even need this graphic. This graphic won't do any good. I want to take you to a place where, and it's just, it is what it is. Like it, hate it, love it. Okay. Where you need to get exposed to artificial intelligence. So there's a lot to unpack here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off all the technicals. Okay. I'm going to bring up what we consider the ultimate AI stock. And it's down 5. There's a broken stock. See that? See ya. Wouldn't that? The algos aren't going to buy this. You're going to buy it. They're not. See ya. Okay. It's broken. Just to see how far it can fall. But this is considered like the premier AI stock, but there's so many others. We'll profile it over 4 days. But what we're going to do is We're going to lay out the category, because that's what I do nowadays. 11 categories in my archive. It's category. What's the category? It's trends. I'm going to do trends. Trends. Then the title of today's program, Attack of the Clones. I mean, come on, give me some love here. I put a lot of thought into this title. Profiling the rise of artificial intelligence. Listen, people, it's now or never for all of you to learn this. This is the best time ever for me to talk about this, because most people talk about it and they don't understand any part of it. I want you to grab every angle possible that you can. Every angle that you can grab, I'm going to give you. That's what I'm going to do. Trends, categories, graphics, companies, forecasts, pros, cons, the evolution, the time frames, everything. We're going to do it over 4 days. So, Attack of the Clones, profiling the rise of artificial intelligence. Where do we begin? I thought about it for a while. Like, where should I kick this off? The first things first is we have to define artificial intelligence. What the hell is artificial intelligence? Like, what is that primary definition of artificial intelligence? Okay, so I'm going to give it to you in this graphic. Enjoy. There's a robot from like iRobot, automation, voice over protocol, Tesla self-driving car. I'm playing solitaire in an airport on my phone. I'm playing Tetris. You're playing against the computer. That's AI. Okay, so AI, artificial intelligence. It's not artificial, means not real. It's mimicked, it's copied, it's feigned. In its broadest sense, is intelligence exhibited by machines, particularly computer systems. It's a field of research in which computer science that develops and studies methods and software that enable machines to perceive their environment and use learning and intelligence to take actions that maximize their chances of achieving defined goals. Such machines, these machines, may be called AIs, or artificial intelligence machines, AIs. Okay, let me give you the definition that I pulled from IBM. It's a way of making a computer or a robot or software think and act like a human. Yes, that's what it does. Let me give you a perspective. AI is designed to replace you. Yes, you, me, Kaufman, Brandon, we're all going to be gone. We're all going to be replaced by machines. It's Terminator. The machines are going to take over, and then they're going to try to execute and terminate people, and machines will run the world. That's like the next generation. That's what we're going, people. That's what AI is all about. Letting machines, okay, supplement your way of life and maybe even control it. Just want to get that out there. So let me give you some high-profile applications, and then I'll go into the history of it, and that'll take the rest of today. Some of the high-profile applications, include what? Web search engines. For instance, Google. Recommendation systems, such as those used by YouTube, Amazon, Netflix, Yelp. Yelp is AI, people. Interacting via human speech is another form or an application, such as Google Assistant, such as Apple's Siri, or such as Alexa. Yes, Alexa and Siri are AI. Autonomous vehicles, for example, Waymo, which is owned by Google. Or we talk about something like Tesla's self-automated driving vehicle. Yes, that would be considered a form of artificial intelligence. How about generative and creative tools such as ChatGPT or Apple Intelligence, and even AI art and superhuman play and analysis and strategy games such as chess, such as Go, such as something like Solitaire, or like checkers, something of that nature, or Stratego. Yes. However, many AI applications are not perceived as AI. A lot of cutting-edge AI has filtered into general applications, often without being called AI, because once something becomes useful enough and common enough, it's not labeled AI anymore. This is your starting point. I want to get you a little bit in the know. I want to distill it. I want to break it down. I don't want to be all over the place. I want to center it in a hub. Okay, it's a computer or robot or software that thinks or acts like you. Now, let me move on to like other like features of this, if I may. Okay, and let me jump in with this graphic. Okay, and let's go with the path of the history behind this, because there's a lot to unpack here. There's like too much, and I know it and you know it. So let's talk about the evolution, and we'll spend the entire day talking about where it started and where we are now. And then we're going to start to get into the trends, the applications, who runs it, who's guiding it, where the money's coming from. Okay, the trajectory of AI or artificial intelligence, it's really longer than you think, and it's captivating because it's marked by a sense of milestones and achievements that have shaped its evolution. For instance, okay, let me take you to the starting point of where AI really gets its foundation. Although the 1950s, yes, the 1950s, are commonly considered to mark the formal beginning of AI, it's important to recognize that the precursors of this fascinating discipline, they lie much earlier in history. You heard that correct. People are like, what the hell is he talking about? AI goes above and beyond the 1950s with computers, even centuries earlier. That's why I want to mess you up today, okay? From antiquity to Middle Ages, you heard me correctly. And then during the Renaissance and the modern age, like we're talking like Da Vinci, we're talking Rembrandt, concepts and developments can be traced that laid foundations for what would eventually become AI as we know today. So AI has become mainstream starting in the 1950s, what's called omnipresent widespread. But the genesis of AI, woo, it goes centuries before that. The Romans were actually the first ones onto it. It's going to just like people like, what? Robots and legends, exploring technology in Greek mythology. In ancient Greek mythology, stories are told of automatons. You heard me right, automatons created by Hephaestus. Hephaestus, the god of technology, capable of moving and speaking like humans. Greek mythology features tales of intelligent robots and artificial beings, such as Pandora, like Pandora's box, as well as the notion of biotechnology, exploring how technology can alter biological phenomena. Get this, in the 13th century, okay, centuries of vision, 13th century, Ramon Lull, Gottfried Leibniz, and their contribution to the creation of intelligent machines. This will kind of just freak you out. In the 13th century, the Spanish philosopher Ramon Lull developed a system of mechanical logic based upon symbols and diagrams. Later in the 17th century, okay, the philosopher and mathematician Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz imagined a universal language of symbols to solve problems, thus laying the foundations for future creations of intelligent machines. So again, people, it goes way beyond the 1950s. I thought by kicking the program off like this, I'd get your attention and you had something you could talk about at a cocktail party, jaw-dropping stuff. Because most people are like, oh, AI, that just started like just 3 years ago. Are you out of your mind? It's been around for hundreds of years, centuries. During the Renaissance, okay, during the Renaissance period, the possibility of mechanizing human thought into non-human was considered. At that time, Leonardo da Vinci exhibited his mechanical knight. You heard me correctly. He had a mechanical knight able to move his arms and legs like a human by means of pulleys and cables. Also in 1533, Regiomontanus, that's Regiomontanus, that's his name. He built an iron automation eagle capable of flight at the time. Now, let me keep rolling forward because you see the features of AI. The common AI that we are all familiarized with is, oh, I have an iPhone. Oh, I have a Samsung phone. I press my thumbprint or I look in and it's facial recognition and I can log in. Okay, yes, that's one among many features of AI. Then there's data ingestion, where you've got Amazon World Services just absorbing in cloud, soaking it all, sucking it all in, categorizing it, housing it, and then distributing it. Yes. Then you have quantum computing, where SMCI, supermicrocomputer, can do 1 billion tasks in 1/10 of 1 second, like the Millennium Falcon doing the 12 parsecs in the Kessel Run. Yes, we've got that. Deep learning. There's a lot there. There's a lot there. But all of it, okay, starts the genesis long time ago. And then it spreads like a Pascal's triangle. It's like an umbrella. It's like, tree of life just coming out. But it starts way before you think it does. Okay. Literature begins to suggest advances towards modern technology. Now, for example, Gulliver's Travels, which I read, Jonathan Swift, right, includes an engine that can enhance knowledge and skills with the help of a non-human mind. And Erewhon, remember this, there's a store in LA called Erewhon. Erewhon entertains the idea of future conscious machines. In 1833, the collaboration between Charles Babbage and Ada Lovelace led to the invention of the analytical machine. So the analytical machine has been around since 1833. And if you used to watch the Wild Wild West with Artemis Gordon, remember Artemis Gordon, and you had Jim West. I can't remember the two characters. One of them, Ross, he died. He actually had a heart attack playing tennis in Santa Margarita, Ross Gordon. And then there was the other player, he ran Baba Black Sheep, Robert Conrad. Yes, they were in the 1850s, 1865. They had machines back then. Those are considered forms of AI. Well, listen, in addition, Bernard Bolzano made the first modern attempt to formalize semantics, and George Boole, like the Boolean, there's actually the Boolean loop is actually on the thinkorswim platform. If that doesn't F you up, I don't know what will. There's a Boolean platform I will show you. You don't believe me? Look, like, where does Boolean logic come from? I will show you. It'll mess people up. Look, see this? If you come down here, like, I want to put on an indicator, and I'll put up a MACD. Look, see right here, draw as values, Boolean logic, Boolean. That's been around for 200 years, people. AI's been around a lot longer than people think. That's where it comes from. It comes from Boolean algebra. Just wanted to throw that out there, people. But I digress. I need to get back on track because I'm excited. It's fun day is Wednesday or Thursday, pardon me. Boolean algebra. Then Samuel Butler also proposed the idea that machines could become more conscious and replace mankind. And of course, he was like almost stoned to death for making some type of statement like that. Listen, crucial advances finally arrived. Like, the idea has been out there. It's been like in the clouds. Finally, it's now been organized, curated, funded, and then industrial revolutionized, commoditized, and made available to everybody. It took hundreds of years, technology, industrial revolution, to finally get AI to be mainstream. It's taken a while. During the period of the early 20th century, listen to this, there were several important milestones. Number one, in 1931, mathematicians Bertrand Russell and Alfred North Whitehead's Principia Mathematica, it laid the foundations of type checking and type inference algorithms, as in type, as in like the Gutenberg Bible typing, as in typewriter, type. In 1921, Czech playwright Karel Čapek science fiction play called Rossum's Universal Robots introduced the concept of factory-made artificial persons called robots. This concept inspired the use of the term in research, art, and discovery. Subsequently, in 1939, John Vincent Atanasoff and Clifford Berry created the Atanasoff-Berry computer, called the ABC computer. That's where you get the languages C, B, and A, or Visual Basic. ABC. And in 1949, Edmund Berkeley published Great Minds, or Machines That Think, in which he highlighted how machines can handle large amounts of information. Just really cool stuff here. But I want to continue on with this and kind of, again, this is all predicated on the history behind it. Tomorrow, we'll expand horizons. I promise. I have 4 days worth of amazing information on AI to educate you for the rest of your life. So when you're out there, I'm trading Oracle. Now you'll understand where it came from, how to use it, how much it costs, how to price it. I promise I'll get you all there. Give me time to pyramid this up. Now you have to talk about Turing. We got to talk about the father of modern computing, okay, Mr. Turing, the Professor Turing himself. As we've observed, the evolution of AI takes us on a fascinating journey through time. To continue this journey, we've got to go back to the year 1936 and delve into one of the most outstanding creations of the father of modern computing, Alan Turing, Turing, a British mathematician and computer scientist. With the invention of Turing's universal Turing machine, not T-O-U-R, but T-U-R-I-N-G, an amazing story begins, full of key elements that have evolved to levels beyond our own imagination, giving life to intelligent robots capable of assisting us in solving everyday problems. This iconic machine had the ability to carry out complex, formally defined calculations with the flexibility to adapt to various specific contexts. This innovation not only contributed to formalizing the concept of an algorithm, algorithms hate them. They run the markets. They're rigged, hijacked, run by markets. All markets are run by algos, people. You know it, I know it, and you got to learn about this. No better time to learn it than let me share with you the info. So let's talk about algorithms. The innovation of algorithms served as an initial catalyst that triggered a revolution in the evolution of computers that we now have in our homes. However, Alan Turing's legacy goes beyond this remarkable contribution. In his work, Computing, Machinery, and Intelligence, unquote, there are several fundamentals that have served as inspiration for formal developments in the field of artificial intelligence, which leads me to my next screen. Oh, people, you know me, come on. I bring things forward, not backward. Oh, this is a really, really good one. If you're wondering, what are the applications of AI? Here you go, people. As Alan Turing kind of laid the foundation for, okay? Let me get back on track here. I just got Skype, so pardon me, it was distracting me. My bad. So let's get back to going back into the Alan Turing achievements. Later in the late 1950s, Alan Turing again made significant contributions to the field of AI. How? He included the creation of what's called, pardon me, new glasses, I'm getting adjusted to them, the Turing test. This test evaluates the ability of a machine to exhibit intelligent behavior. In other words, it just doesn't follow orders. It absorbs the orders and then can turn around and deep learn, machine learn, and actually act like a human. So if you program the machine and it doesn't just rinse and repeat, it actually then starts to replace you and me. It can think like a human. It's the equivalent, or it's indistinguishable from that of a human. So you're out there reading articles. I talked to Chuck Jaffe. Half the articles written in the Wall Street Journal on CNBC, they're not even written by people. They're not. They're written by ChatGPT. Algorithms and chatbots write the code and write text for CNBC. They don't write it. They fired their staff. It's now written by machines. Machines have replaced humans. They're a lot cheaper. They come cheaper. They have perfect spell check. They're more efficient. They think faster. Think about it. This is Alan Turing was so far ahead of his time. He saw this. He saw the future. Scary thought, huh? It's like, oh no, help me. Oh, mommy. All right, let me continue upward and onward. In the 50s, marked a crucial milestone in the AI research with the appearance of the first digital computer. So if anybody asks you, when's the first digital computer? 1950. And scientists and researchers embarked on exploring possibilities around the digital and expanding on it. However, progress was slow. Why? Due to limitations in computing power and a shortage of funding. So despite these challenges, the 1950s, in fact, did lay the foundation for the future advances in the field of AI. In 1950, Claude Shannon, known as the father of information theory, Claude Shannon, now you know, published Programming a Computer for Playing Chess. So remember, you used to say, oh my God, can I beat the computer at chess? And used to say like the famous, the master chess, and back in the 70s and the 80s when it was like really popular, and they made a movie called what was it called? The King's Move, or it had Anya Taylor-Joy. Anybody can throw out there, where a female became a world chess champion, and coming from America, right? And she had to go through all these hard contests. You have to play against the machine. Yeah, that was Claude Shannon. In the same year, Alan Turing made significant contributions to the field of AI with the creation of his Turing test. It's a test that evaluates the ability of a machine to exhibit intelligent behavior equivalent or indistinguishable from that of an actual human. Also in 1950, Isaac Asimov publishes I, Robot, a work that explores the ethical dilemmas and implications in AI society. In 1955, 3 years later, John McCarthy and his team coined the term artificial intelligence. So the original artificial, the word itself, FYI, if you're a Jeopardy champion, if you want to kind of cajole people out of money, you want to scam people out of money at a cocktail party, who coined the term AI? John McCarthy. He's the first one. He gave it a formal name in his emerging area speech at a famous symposium. In the same year, Alan Newell, Herbert Simon, and Cliff Shaw create the first artificial intelligence computer program, a major milestone in the history, of AI. In 1956, Arthur Samuel develops the first computer programs for playing chess, paving the future research in strategy games. And then finally, in 1958, John McCarthy developed Lisp, L-I-S-P, a programming language that would become one of the most widely used in artificial intelligence research. Although the 1950s laid the foundations for modern AI, it was not until 1969, actually, that Arthur Samuel coined the term machine learning. So it's AI first, machine learning like 16, 15 years later. A fundamental concept in the development of AI systems that can improve their performance through experience. I thought that was really cool stuff. Now, I just want you to take a look here. Artificial intelligence is the hub. So there's your, like in a Venn diagram, there's the hub. Okay, look what springs from it, because we're going to talk about this for the entire hour tomorrow, 45 minutes. We're going to talk about machine learning, natural processing language processing, NLP, expert systems, vision, speech, planning, robotics. You can see speech has speech to text, text to speech. So you can talk out loud. And like when you talk on your phone, it'll like reproduce. You can talk into a Samsung phone and say, find Bierman's house. It'll say, find Bierman's house. That's speech to text. Then you could actually type in, and the speech will then type in text, and it will come out as speech. You've seen that. Image recognition, like, NFTs, machine vision, text generation. Oh, this is all cool. Supervised, unsupervised, deep learning. It's all like different components, compartmentalization of what? AI. And we'll definitely get into this. We will not skip this, I promise. Now, let's talk about the golden age of AI. Advances in discovery were actually in the 1960s. In the 1960s, the field of AI experienced a major surge of interest, but more importantly, investment. Yeah, Wall Street finally figured out, we got to get on this. The decade saw the development of the first natural language processing program, the first machine learning algorithm, and an increase in the representation of AI in popular culture. In 1961, George Devol invented Unimate. What's that? The first industrial robot to work on the General Motors assembly line. In the same year, James Slagle, he develops the SAINT, S-A-I-N-T, problem-solving program. In 1963, John McCarthy starts Project MAC, M-A-C, later to become MIT Artificial Intelligence Laboratory. So again, they went to the source. To me, there's no better place in the world to cultivate AI in the planet, obviously, than Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Boston. It is either Caltech or MIT are the two best mathematic engineering reservoirs, educational meccas in the world. End of discussion. It's not London School of Economics or Cambridge. Stop. I met a lot of people when I was in Europe this summer who went to Cambridge. They told me, they said the real place to go is Cal. They even told me it's Caltech and MIT, like the brainiac number crunching geeks that a lot of you are. You have my deepest respect. Okay. Again, they went into MIT and started building out AI through MIT, funded by both private and public. In 1964, Daniel Bobrow creates Student, S-T-U-D-E-N-T. The word student, it's an acronym. It's cited as one of the first milestones in NLP, which is natural language processing. The first AI program written in Lisp actually solves algebraic problems. In 1965, Joseph Wiesenbaum develops the first chatbot called Eliza. And a lot of you oh, Siri's the first one. Like Family Feud. Siri was not the first one. Not Alexa. No, that came from Amazon. No, they stole, they piggybacked, they missed a Eliza. That's why I came here. Eliza was the first chatbot. In 1966, Ross Quillian demonstrates that semantic networks can use graphs, to model the structure and storage of human knowledge. In the same year, Charles Rosen develops Shaky the Robot. So it just kind of, it pyramids and piles on stuff. Oh, looky, the market pulled in. In 1968, to close out the 60s, because I'm a 60s baby, here I am. Stanley Kubrick. How many of you out there are old enough? RJ in Texas. Stanley Kubrick. Remember RJ? Stanley Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey is released, featuring HAL. Remember the computer onboard computer HAL? A sentient computer that basically controls all of the flight activity and navigation. All of the, opening doors, closing doors, feeding the people. It's like a great management living system. Also in 1968, Terry Winograd creates the first natural language computer program called SHRD-LU. It's no longer used. It's been replaced, but it's out there. Now let's jump to the 1970s, because I'm getting up to speed here. In the 1970s, AI shifted its focus from symbolic reasoning to more practical applications, such as what? Expert systems and natural language programming, or NLP. Expert systems, they were designed to mimic the decision-making ability of human experts in specific domains, while natural language processing, NLP, it sought to develop machines capable of understanding and responding to human language. Honey, I want a divorce. I don't need you anymore. I'm going to create my own wife and talk to it and tell it what to do, and it will never talk back to me. However, advances in AI were limited by computational constraints and lack of funding, leading to what became known as AI winter. So there's an artificial intelligence winter where there were so many constraints that funding disappeared all in one quarter. It's like, oh, well, we love AI. Let's pull our money. There was an AI harvest, AI winter. In 1970, Waseda University. Where is Waseda? I don't know. It's in Japan. They build the first anthropomorphic robot called the Waybot, WABOT-1. In 1973, in a report to the British Science Council, James Lighthill states that AI research has not had a major impact. Really? It hasn't? Has not had a major impact, leading to a reduction in government support for AI research. So in the early 70s, because they hit this proverbial wall, they're like, that's it. Okay, it's like the same guy who said like 100 years ago, there's no more patents. We've reached all of what we can do in innovation and patents. Everybody go away. Let's shut the doors in DC. We'll shut down the patent office. The human condition has discovered all it needs. That's the same like ridiculous statement. This person, okay, this British researcher needs to have his head examined. In 1977, George Lucas, Star Wars is released, and that's the game changer. People, if there was a game changer in AI that reopened and reimagined and repurposed the world, George Lucas is responsible. So let's give love to where it was. Alan Turing kicked it off in the 50s. It peaked, it died. George Lucas revived it. Everybody, let's do a bow to George Lucas, because he's the guy. When he released Star Wars, it changed everything. It introduced a humanoid robot called C-3PO. Finally, in 1979, a television-equipped remote-controlled mobile robot known as Stanford Cart becomes one of the first examples of an autonomous vehicle. So again, I'm getting a lot of interesting like looks from a lot of you, but we're going to jump because I've got 15 minutes. Now we're into the 80s. We'll get there. Short paragraphs. These are my notes. From success to failure, and from failure to now success, the ups and downs of the AI in the 80s. In the 1980s, the development of machine learning programs marked an important turning point in the history of AI. These algorithms allow computers to learn and adapt based upon input data, rather than being explicitly programmed to perform a specific task. This opened the door to more complex and sophisticated AI systems. However, despite these advances, the rise of AI in the 1980s led to an AI winter that was hard to break, as the technology failed to live up to some of the high expectations that had been placed on it. And there's somewhere I'm going to go with this in the fourth day. AI is supposed to change the world. I disagree. I think at some point it's going to be like when they figure out how to monetize all of AI, everybody's going to go, you know, that NVIDIA, it's just IBM, it's just Cisco. I swear, I think everybody thinks that NVIDIA is going to change the world. I think everybody's in on it. It's all arbitraged away. I think we're already 5 to 10 years ahead of AI already financially. And eventually, when you say the word AI, it's going to be a dirty word. Did he say AI? Sell that stock instead of buying it. It's going to actually work against the stock, because we're going to have an AI winter at some point when we realize that there's not applications for everything and there's going to be a lot of wasted money. That's Don's. I'm borrowing Kaufman. He's right. Listen to Kaufman. AI is a hype. It's viable. It's usable. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. But don't translate this into like, it's going to be $1 trillion. If we don't own AI, we should own nothing. Nonsense. Nonsense. Ashton Tate, $500 a share, bankrupt. Stop. Okay. Oh my God, Peloton 155, bankrupt. People, stop. Everything that goes up will come down. In 1981, Japan's Ministry of International Trade and Industry allows $850 million to the 5th generation computers project. In 1984, Roger Schenck and Marvin Minsky warn of an AI winter. Remember the Minsky moment? In 1986, Mercedes-Benz launches a driverless van, not Tesla. Hello? You think that, oh, Elon Musk is brilliant. He's smart, but he's borrowing other people's idea, like Nikola Tesla. Mercedes had the first driverless van. It had cameras and sensors. That was back in the 80s, early 80s. Finally, in 1988, Rollo Carpenter develops Jabberwocky. What's Jabberwocky? It's to simulate natural human speech in an interesting, entertaining, and humorous way. So it was like this British sort of accent to it. Okay. Now I'm going to switch gears on you one more time and bring this to you, because I got one, like another cool graphic. Here's some more graphics for you to look at if I'm missing something here along the way. NLP. Okay. So I'm going to kind of finish this out and we'll pick this up tomorrow. But we're coming to the end of the timing sequence. The 90s. In the 1990s, there was a resurgence of interest in artificial intelligence after a period of reduced funding and attention in the 80s. This was partly due to the emergence of new technologies, such as neural networks. We're going to talk about neural networks tomorrow. In addition, the World Wide Web, WWW, right, became accessible to the public, leading to the development of search engines that used NLP to improve accuracy and search results. This decade also saw significant advances in the development of intelligence agents and multi-agent systems, which contributed to the advancement of AI research. So all of a sudden, you're getting the revival in the 90s, but the funding doesn't come in until the 2000s. In 1995, Richard Wallace developed what's called the chatbot. The chatbot's called Alice. A period, L period, I period, C period. Alice. So Siri, Alice was before. In 1997, Sepp Hochreiter and Jürgen Schmidhuber developed the long-term, what's called long-term memory, LSTM, long short-term memory, a type of recurrent neural network, RNN, recurrent neural network, for handwriting and speech recognition. In 1998, Dave Hampton and Caleb Chung invented the first toy robot for children. Finally, in 1999, Sony introduced a robot dog. It's just what you need, Don. Don can't stand having pets in his house because he don't want to deal with the barking. He doesn't want to clean up the poop in the backyard. He doesn't want to take it for a walk. He doesn't want his kids to get bitten. Kaufman, call up, okay, this guy, Caleb Chung. The dog's name was Furby, F-U-R-B-Y, Furby. That was the first robotic dog. Finally, in 1999, Sony introduced another robotic dog called Aibo, A-I-B-O, capable of understanding and responding to over 100 voice commands. That's it. I'm looking at the two cats on the floor. Snowy, Jazz, get out. I'm getting robot cats who understand 100 different, like, what I call voice commands. I don't need you cats anymore. You see what I'm saying here? It's to replicate. They're going to replace us. Like, I can just see like a year, I won't even be an employee at Theo anymore. We found a chat bot. We found another Bierman. Scary thought, man. Scary thought. It's good and bad. Let's go to the 2000s. The future finally arrives. AI hits milestones in the 2000s, such as what? Well, the turn of the century saw the emergence of intelligent assistants, okay, such as Apple's Siri. Well, now it comes about, and Amazon's Alexa. Okay, you're 20 years after the fact, which used NLP technology, natural language programming to understand and respond to voice commands. The development of self-driving cars also began in the 2000s, with companies such as Google and Tesla leading the way. So Google's got Waymo, Tesla's got its own thing. In 2000, the Y2K problem emerged. What happened? A challenge related to computer failures linked to formatting and storage of the electronic calendar from 01/01/2000 in the same, okay? Remember the Y2K issue? And they had technology stocks around it that went bankrupt because it was only worth like what, 1 year of like lifespan? In the same year, Cynthia Brezel developed a robot capable of recognizing and simulating emotions. The robot's name was Kismet. I love it. I love it. Kismet. And Honda launched the humanoid AI robot ASIMO. In 2001, Steven Spielberg. Oh, good old Spielberg. No, we're not talking about like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah, I know. Spielberg released a movie called AI. Loved it, by the way. Artificial Intelligence. That was way back in 2001. In 2002, iRobot launched an autonomous robot, Hoover, which means you got a vacuum running around your living room, little flat circular one, sucking up the dirt, the Hoover. In 2004, NASA's robotic explorations navigated Mars without human intervention. In 2006, Oren Etzioni, Michelle Banco, and Michael Caffarella coined the term machine reading. So that first term comes around 2006. There's like AI, NLP, there's like levels, okay? Machine learning, okay, comes after machine reading. Finally, Google began in 2009, Google begins its work on its driverless car. Now, let's get to the 2010s. We're speeding up to the end here. The 2010s saw major advances in AI, including the development of deep learning algorithms. Now we've got deep learning. There's another term, deep learning. So we've gone from machine learning to deep learning, right? It enabled the creation of even more sophisticated AI systems. AI began to play a key role in a number of sectors such as healthcare, finance, and customer service. Listen, you can't call Schwab. They got robo-advisors who've replaced everybody. So when you talk to somebody, it's a VoIP, a voice over protocol with a robo-advisor. Scary. In 2010, Microsoft launched the first gaming device that tracks the movement of the human body, the Xbox 360. In 2011, Watson, a natural language questioning answering computer created by IBM, participated in the popular televised game Jeopardy! In the same year, Apple launched Siri. So the 2010s is really where, to me, the traction is really starting to gain. Where's traction being gained? It's in the 2010. It starts to accelerate, and it's got the funding behind it. Okay. In 2012, Jeff Dean and Andrew Ng trained a large neural network of 16,000 processors to recognize images of cats. In 2013, Carnegie Mellon launched a semantic machine learning system that can analyze relationships between images, Rorschach test. In 2014, Microsoft launched Cortana, I still have it, and Amazon created Amazon Alexa. In 2016, the humanoid robot created by Hanson Robotics became the first robot citizen, as in it now pays taxes. And Google launched Google Home. In 2017, Facebook trained 2 chatbots, Facebook, Zuckerberg, Meta platforms, to communicate and learn to negotiate. Oh God, I got to get in on that thing. In 2018, along comes Alibaba, the AI that processes language, outperformed human intellect in a Stanford test, and Google developed BERT, B-E-R-T. In the same year, Samsung's like, okay, enough. We can't let them get ahead of us. It's an arms race. It's like, let's see who can get to the top of the mountain first. They launched what was called Bixby, another form of AI. Now, it all comes down to this. We're coming to the finish line. AI in the 2020s, an unstoppable future, right? Maybe not so much. Artificial intelligence continues its ascent right now at an unprecedented pace. It was like 5 degrees, AI winter. 10 degrees, AI winter. Then it's like 20 degrees. Now it's a hockey stick. Now we're going hockey stick 60, 75 degrees with AI. That's why all your money managers puked everything else and chased technology last year. Now you know why. Okay. Here it is. It's ushering in a decade with a series of extraordinary advances in chatbots, virtual assistants, natural language processing, and machine learning. You're seeing it all right in front of you. These advances have vastly expanded the capabilities of AI, enabling its application in areas ranging from data analytics to decision support. The positive transformation that artificial intelligence promises, it's evident in its growing presence in key sectors such as customer service, personalization of experiences, content management, that's where I love it, and disease diagnosis, don't forget that, and treatment. So healthcare is a big part of this. We'll get into that tomorrow. Notable examples of these developments include OpenAI Codex, introduced in 2021 as a revolutionary tool to assist programmers through automatic code generation. And of course, the buzzword, Don's buzzword, ChatGPT, which was launched in 2022. It's only 2 years old, as an AI chatbot that has generated both praise for its fluency and debate about its ultimate social impact. Okay. The year 2023 brought about the introduction of GPT-4. 4 means fourth generation, an enhanced multi-model version of OpenAI's language model, and George Bard, I like the word Bard as in poet, an alternative based on Google's Lambda model, challenging the chatbot landscape. By then, ChatGPT had already reached 100 million users. Now you have to think about this. It reached 100 million users last year. This year, it's got to be approaching 1 billion, at least 1 billion, establishing itself as one of the fastest growing consumer applications, while ChatGPT-4 achieved impressive scores in standardized tests, demonstrating its ability to understand and reason at levels comparable to humans in various fields of knowledge. That's good to know. A machine is going to, but John, are you ready to fire me now, Don? You're going to find a chatbot? I'm sure he's going to text me on this. These developments are just one indication that the continued progress and potential of AI in the future is is sitting there. Now, I don't want to go too much further in this, but I want to say there are ethical concerns. There are promises of AI and there are ethical concerns of AI. There are pros and there are cons. Okay. There are issues and there are opportunities. I'm going to save that for another day. Listen, I got this so layered, people. It's long. I got trends, companies, forecasts. I got estimates. I've got individual companies. Who are the leaders? What are they? I've done it all for you. I've curated it all for you. Give me some time. Oh, look, the video is good. But what did I tell you about trying to out? I'm going to tell you again. I'm going to say that, and I know I'm right. It's all about slopes. If you learn slopes, you can make $1 million in this business. It's slopes. See the slope? That's why it's unbuying. You buying that when it was down 4? Look at it now. People, the slope will make or break your account. I keep telling you this. I can't short a vertical slope. People are like, why doesn't Bierman short the E-mini? Why? Because when you look at the E-mini on the indicator, the slope is what? It's not curving over. It's slow. It's starting. It's trying to curve over, but it's not quite there yet. It's getting close. Please, come on, baby, come on. You've got to curve. It's got to curve. If it curves and breaks under 5,500, this sucker's in a free fall. But until then, every dip's going to be bought. Look, they're trying to buy it now. I think pretty much we're getting tired here. I think that blowout in NVIDIA is starting to wear people down, but you need collateral damage in tech, collateral damage in financials, collateral damage in retail. Otherwise, that sucker ain't going to break that far. On that note, come back tomorrow. I make promises that I'll be able to keep. I promise this is going to get better and better. I got a lot of cool graphics here, cool facts. This has been part 1 of Attack of the Clones, because that's exactly what this is. Profiling the rise of artificial intelligence. I will be back tomorrow, same bat channel, earlier time in my regular slot. Remember, Tuesday, Thursday, I teach in the mornings at Loyola, 45 students. It's like romper room. It's crazy. I had the best school, best class, the finance lab, but it's hell because I have to manage a lot of people. In the meantime, I'm going to turn it over to Corey Rosenboom and let him run out of it. Corey, you ready to go, bro?
Yes, sir. All ready.
All right, Corey's going to take it to the close. Everybody, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Professor.